Hi, this is Clark on Temptress. People have generators in their off-grid system. The problem with a generator is, you might need power in the middle of the night. You have to turn it on. Wouldn't it be cool if the generator could turn on when it saw that the system needed power and turned off when it knew the lithium iron phosphate batteries were fully charged? Today we're going to build a circuit that can do that. Today we're going to talk about automatic starting generators, or how to make an automatic starting generator out of any electric start generator. If you have one, this is a video for you. If you don't have one, you still might like this video because it's going to be a lab. I'm going to build up the circuit out of very simple components, and I think there's something to be learned from this video. So, I occasionally get an email saying, Clark, can the BankManager control my AutoStart generator? And, I'll say no originally, and then I got the idea, oh yeah, sure it can, but it's kind of complicated. So honestly, I've had like 3 people ask in the last couple of weeks, and I've been saying, wait till the video comes out. Well, this is the video for you guys. An AutoStart generator is a generator with an electric start that either comes with or you add on a module. These modules are only like 50 bucks. That will let you have a switch, and you basically say run, and it will do what's necessary to get that generator started safely. And then when you're done, you turn the switch off and the generator goes off. Obviously, this would be very handy if you had a house or a boat and the generator was tucked away somewhere or outside and you could just manually say start and stop. But wouldn't it be really great if our charge control system could intelligently start the generator and stop the generator? Now, we already have charge controllers that won't overcharge the batteries if the generator's running, but then the generator's still running and it's kind of just wasting fuel and putting hours on itself and all. So we would want a generator that starts at an event. That basically means, hey, these batteries are getting too low. It's time to help out. Maybe you've had so many cloudy days, the sun hasn't been able to keep up with your requirements, and that could be in the middle of the night. And this is the clever part, not just run until you hit a voltage, but run until the lithium is at 100% charge, or whatever you set it for in the BankManager. We're going to take advantage of some of the events that the BankManager already does to be able to shut off the generator and start the generator. It's going to be neat. It's going to be cool, and it's going to be simple. Whoop. Here's what you need. You need one of these. These are absolutely available, cheap as dirt. I think it's $5 on Amazon for this one. This is a device that will turn off a relay when the voltage goes below a certain level. And you get to adjust the level, and you get to adjust what's called the hysteresis, basically when it turns back in the other direction. And like I said, dirt cheap, readily available, useful for a lot of things. This is a bistable relay. Very much like this big bistable relay that's already in your BankManager system. If you build your system based on a monostable relay, you're going to have to rethink this. It might not work so well, but no, I think it'd work fine. You just have to get the right monostable relay. Anyway, we're going to talk about bistable, because honestly, almost everyone who buys a BankManager buys that relay. Some of them buy that contactor relay right away. Most people do. It's surprising. More than a few people just buy the BankManager figuring they'll go shopping for relays. Then they shop for relays, and, well, that's the best one. So, this guy's a little harder to find sometimes. It's often out of stock. And I'll put a link to 2 different Amazon links I found. One is in stock, the other one isn't. Same board, just different people selling it. It's optimal for this, but you could use any bistable relay that is low side signaling. Same requirements of this guy, except You only have to be able to switch like an amp. So you don't need it to be a big, powerful device. This is going to be a signal. And then finally, because if you remember the other one I said turns off a relay at low voltage, we're going to have to flip that around to turn on the generator at low voltage. So any relay that has a normally closed circuit will take care of that for us. And this is just a 12-volt relay I had hanging around. Okay, let's take a minute to draw out the circuit. What do we have here? Well, this only works if you have a BankManager, so we have our basic BankManager installation here. This works with Gen 1s, Gen 2s, Gen 3s, doesn't matter. The BankManager is already connected to the contactor, the bistable contactor. And that contactor, of course, is connected to the lithium bank and the rest of your system. But that's unimportant right now. We're not going to be dealing with the big wires. We're just going to deal with the signal wires. You've got a generator. And of course, the generator in some way is connected to your power system with a battery charger or a big alternator or however that's done. Again, we're not going to mess with the big wires today. We're talking about signaling it. Now, the generator either has, for the purpose of this project, an AutoStart feature, or I've seen on Amazon these AutoStart modules for like 50 bucks. Generator AutoStart, easy to look up. I haven't any experience with any of particular ones of these because I don't have a generator on Temptress. I'm way off grid. But I see them there. They look like they work. For a little more money, you end up getting one with like Xantrex as his name, so you know it's a reputable kind of a thing. But I don't think it's a complex circuit. I think it's something that's that probably all work. Read the reviews. So that's the AutoStart. To do this, we need to build a circuit that can let the BankManager turn on and off the generator. So what we're going to do is take the control wires that go to the BankManager. And in this case, these are the ones that go to on and off and to the main coil common. And we're going to bring them out. And we're going to connect them to another bistable relay. In this case, it's this guy. Now this guy, let me just go into detail on it just a little bit. This is the bistable relay. If you look at this board, we call these breakout boards, where companies get a component that's useful for like a hobby market and put it on a board, maybe with some supporting circuitry, but just so it's easier to use. We have nice screw terminals now instead of having to like solder it onto something. This is the guy you want, and you could probably buy this directly from DigiKey or Moser or one of those companies. On this particular board, the supporting features are just two diodes. Those are called flyback diodes. They're there to protect the circuitry that's driving all this from the coil in the relay itself. When that goes off, it tends to throw a very nasty voltage back. The BankManager does not require these diodes. The diodes that are there to protect this circuit are actually built into the BankManager. Doesn't matter that there's multiples of them, it's just belts and suspenders. But in short, if you could only find the relay directly, you can just use that. You just have to wire it up yourself. So what that gives us is a switch that is in parallel to this switch. So that when this switch is activated, this is also activated in parallel, but they're switching different circuits. So the actual meat of them, the load, is completely separate from each other. What we want is this guy to go on when the BankManager is in connected mode. When it's saying the lithium should be connected to the rest of the system, this bistable will turn on a signal. Now, that makes sense because like on will eventually boil down to run the generator once we're done with the circuit. And well, If the lithium was disconnected from the circuit, well, you wouldn't want the generator running, would you? So coming into this guy, we have system positive, plus 12 volts. This would go to your main system side, not the lithium side, the lead side of your system. And coming out of it is something that will turn on when the BankManager is connected. Then we have that turn this on. So it's going to turn the low voltage disconnect circuitry on when it activates. And to do that, we just run this right into the 12 volt positive side of this guy. We give this guy a ground. And then the output of this is a relay, and it's switched backwards. So we'll take the output of that and we'll bring this guy in. And we want the output of that to control the coil in this device. In the case of this particular one, that's the red and the black wires, but it would be different, for your relay. We take the common that's going into this and we feed that off the 12 volts that comes out of this bistable relay, and we take its output and that becomes what starts the generator. So the last thing I need in my little system here is a generator, and I don't want a generator in the room, obviously. If I had one, I had it outside, you just have to believe it's running. So this is my generator stand-in. It's just a 12 volt fan, and I put a little dealie on it so you can see when it's running. We'll probably hear it. I guess we're set. So let's start this up. Let's hook this all together. So first, I'm going to hook the common to the lead side of our system. Use fuses when you really do this. This is just a bench, and I've got a power supply that's relatively safe. You want to connect the on and the off to the on and the off of your bistable. So that's pretty straightforward. So we have both bistable relays in parallel hooked up. The common of this coil goes right to where the common of this coil goes to. Again, the off and the on, or the off and the on. This doesn't use the words off and on. It uses set and reset. Set is on, reset is off. And now we're going to let this guy drive this guy. So the 12 volt that turns on coming out of this now goes to activate this, to energize this, but also to power up the low voltage connection. I'll give the low voltage connection some ground. And then finally, I just hook up the coil of the relay to the output from this low voltage device. That gives me a pin here that will go 12 volt positive when the generator should be running. So I'll hook that to the fan. And finally, I just need to give some ground to the fan so it can run. And that's it. That's our system. Let's give this a go and see how it works. So I've got my power supply on. This is representing the rest of your system. It's representing the lead batteries, the charging sources, the loads, all of that. So on goes the BankManager, waiting for it to boot, and here it is. Okay, let's start the process. This is a Gen 3 BankManager. I have shorted the pin because I've decided it's safe to have that special feature, which means when I push the reset button, it'll immediately connect to the contactor. In turning on this circuitry, this guy gets about a quarter second of on. That could be a problem, but I don't think it will be. I think for most installations, the quarter second won't be enough time to start the generator. The activation circuitry will have to wake up. But if it is a problem for you, that can be solved by So we got our system working here. Okay, so the batteries are currently being charged at 3-ish amps. What we want to do now is have the generator start. Now this device is very adjustable, and you should probably set it, I would set it for 12.9 volts. That way my generator would start before my lead starts discharging at all. I think that's what I would want. You can do whatever you want. But for purposes of this demonstration, I've set this really high. I've set it to 13.1 volts. And I set it high because this is a big battery, and it would just make this video take like 100 hours. So let's get some power out of this battery. First thing I'll do is like actually tell the device here to stop making as much power. And then I'll bring this device in. You might have seen this. I use this in my battery reviews. It's just something that burns electricity, and it has a fan on it to get rid of it in heat. So we'll give it a ground, and we'll hook its load up here. Let's hook it up, well, as appropriate, we'll hook it to the lead side of our system. And then I'll turn it up so it starts drawing power. We can watch this. It says 13.4 volts in the system right now. And when I tell this to draw some power, we should be able to run this down a bit. If we look at the BankManager, we'll see we're drawing power out of the lithium batteries. And there it goes. The voltage dropped down to 13. I had this set for 13.1 for purposes of this. And the voltage dropped to 13, which of course turned on our generator. To finish my simulation, I should have our system produce power. I'm going to take the load away by turning this way down. And now we have the BankManager charging our system. So as it charges, the voltage will come up. The current is being looked at by the BankManager. Not a lot of history right now because we just booted it. But when it thinks this battery is fully charged, it will turn off our generator. Shouldn't be too long, and the BankManager will know that the lithium is fully charged, and that will turn off the generator. What that would mean for you is you wouldn't have to run the generator beyond when the lithium is there to collect the power. Generators, well, every hour you put on them counts, either in diesel fuel, oil changes, or just before the thing wears out. So you don't want to run it for too long. And you can't set it to a voltage because, like I said, you can't charge lithium to a voltage. The generator has no way to know when the lithium batteries are fully charged. So this circuit is going to turn on the generator, and this circuit is going to tell the generator when it's done with it because the lithium is fully charged. And there we have it. The BankManager decided the batteries were fully charged. It shut off the generator, and we're good to go again. So the generator's now off. Your batteries are fully charged. Your systems are all working. Nothing went down. Hopefully, when the sun comes out again, you'll have that ongoing system you normally have. But for whatever reason, if the batteries get back down in voltage to the point where the generator would be a good idea, the BankManager will again start the generator. The generator will do its thing, and when the batteries are fully charged, it'll shut off the generator. So with these two little, maybe three little components, you have a system that can auto start your generator and make it just hands off. Just remember to put some fuel in it. Thanks for watching the video. I hope this is helpful. Definitely, I think it might help some of you auto start generator people, but you know, it's kind of neat to get some components out on a bench and use them in a novel way. And I hope it was entertaining for those of you that kind of like electrical engineering like I do. I tried to keep the circuit very simple using components that are available on Amazon. I didn't do anything fancy with transistors because relay logic is easier to understand, but you could do this differently, just knowing that you have to have something that can bring the signal outside of the regular charging system and something that can know when it's time to turn on the generator. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks so much to my patrons. I haven't been mentioning Patreon in a long time, which is probably why I haven't had a lot of patrons this summer to sign up. But if you like my videos and you'd like to buy me a beer or whatever, I've got levels on Patreon for that. And if you want to do a complex system, if you want some help, if you think I could help you design something, I have a tier on Patreon called Dream Believers. It was just so that people could call on the phone, but those phone calls have all become like consulting sessions. So it's kind of my de facto consulting session. I don't really consider myself an electrical engineer for hire, but I do like talking about power systems, and signing up at that level at Patreon not only helps me out financially, but it tells me that you're serious. And honestly, if I didn't have some kind of filter, I got an awful lot of viewers and I wouldn't have any time to do anything else but answer and design systems. So anyway, bye from Clark on Temptress. Hope you all have a great day.